On this week's episode, Philip Knowles, newly minted PGA Tour member, joined us, and we uncover his actual height.
5'7", 5'8", we'll just call it 6 feet, but he's got an award-winning goatee.
His wife wants him to be 5'9", but he's going to be a new dad, he's a new PGA Tour player, and he's ready for the tour. Join us on Rough Fairways. Think we got you there.
You hear me?
There he is. Yes, sir.
Cool. I can hear you.
Happy Saturday, Phil. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Good.
Nice to see your face again.
Man, same to y'all. Feels like a few short weeks ago.
Right. Now, are you down in Florida right now?
I am. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. So we got to clear something up really, really quick here. This is very controversial, Phil. Okay. So while I was doing research on you, okay, so your North Florida roster page has you listed at 5'8". However, your PGA Tour profile has you listed at 5'7".
Yeah.
So please clear the air. Official height and weight.
I think my wife would say 5'8" for sure. Maybe even 5'9". I think that is probably it's on the generous side for sure. But when you're anything under really 5'10", you just don't measure. You just, unless you're forced to measure, you just eyeball it.
Well, Phil, that's all we really wanted to have you on for. So thanks for joining us. Okay.
Yeah, guys. Well, I got a lot to do, so appreciate it. I'll go take a nap.
Hey, has it sunk in yet that you're a PGA Tour member?
Last week got pretty close. Yeah, it was a fun week. It felt like a nice step up from the Korn Ferry Tour. It felt bigger for sure, but not like anything that was uncomfortable. I think guys have told me that Torrey is kind of the first week where you're like, hello world.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Big build outs, big players, big golf course. And so.
How was last week different than the Korn Ferry? Did it schmooze you guys more? Is it just bigger crowds? Like what makes it feel that much different?
There's a lot more going on in the peripheral. There are more reps. There are more staffers on the PGA Tour side. There are more maintenance people out in the golf course, particularly in practice rounds. You've got, way more volunteers. And so there's just there are a lot more bodies out there. And Napa was a nice, obviously a nice setting for the golf course, but the golf course itself was small. It was together. It was smaller driving range, small chipping green. Clubhouse was very kind of old school, and so it didn't feel like anything that was crazy last week.
Did you have some family out there?
I did. I got my in-laws came, my parents came, my wife, and my older brother came for most of the week as well.
Were you more nervous? I mean, it's an event, right? It's still a golf event.
Sure.
It's still a tee shot. You've hit millions of tee shots, but were you more nervous than you were maybe on the Korn Ferry Tour?
Not necessarily. I think, yeah, I certainly wasn't more nervous than I was playing in Boise or when I was playing in Omaha. There was a lot on the line there. This is the first of a lot of events that we're going to play out here. So, yeah, there was some excitement. There was a lot of excitement, but you can't help but be a little bit nervous. But I mean, honestly, I felt great the whole week, and I played fine. Just you missed a cut. I mean, golf, you're gonna miss a lot of cuts in golf. You play this game long enough.
What makes you nervous on the course? Is there any shot that makes you nervous? An event, a situation?
Yeah, I mean, trying to win a golf tournament makes you pretty nervous. Made me pretty nervous. Still a little fresh on the mind. It was, I wouldn't say that there are a ton of, there aren't many shots in particular or that really make you nervous because that's your craft and that's what you've honed and perfected, and not perfected, but that's what you've honed and are, constantly, dialing in, and the situations are what can make you nervous, and then the opportunity or the demand for, what you've put that practice in, put that work in for, the demand to now hit this shot in this given situation. That's where the nerves, I think, really show out, and that can be, I don't know, that can be in a lot of different ways. But I had quite a few nerves in Omaha, quite a few nerves in Boise, back-to-back weeks.
Well, you hit it very well.
I did.
Yeah.
I think my putting, it was underrated.
Yeah.
I putted it very well in Omaha. I putted it very well in Boise, but I saved like 4 putts literally the entire week, and unfortunately, a couple of those putts got on. It came in bad
The
time,
wrong time, yeah.
late in the week, and it
Well,
is.
I can tell you probably the biggest thing I appreciated out of meeting you in Boise is as unfortunate as Sunday went for you. I mean, 5 seconds after that, you were off the green, talking to friends, talking to kids, smiling, signing stuff. Like that was honestly, that was probably aside from the golf you played, that was the most impressive thing about meeting you, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, my uncle came in. He was actually in. They spend the summers in Montana, and so he drove over, brought a friend of his, and surprised me. And so he was the only family I had there, and it was tough for sure
Yeah.
to lose. You play to win,
Sure.
and you don't get many opportunities to win. At least most people don't get many opportunities to win. But I remember being a kid, and I remember going to golf tournaments or watching golf, and that was my inspiration to be where I am today. Was being a kid and watching these guys play and aspire to be that way, and so it's fun to, you don't have to do much to make those kids, go home happy, and so it was it was the least I could do, and it was all in all, it was one of the best golf performances of my life.
Sure.
Nice little 61, and those kids are going to remember that. They really are. It's going to be great, and I think it's you guys have your role models, and you don't even know it. I think, or maybe you do, and I think it's in the back of the mind, or maybe it's not even thought of, and to see that from you was really heady stuff and such a young kid. You're 25, but it was really cool. Did you, watching golf as a kid, did you look up to any players? Did you try to mimic swings when you were watching them and cutting your teeth in?
I mean, I couldn't help. I was raised in the Tiger era, so you can't help. But I mean, I was glued to the TV when he was playing. Every week he was playing, and if he wasn't playing, I was, I'm out. I'll go out and practice.
Sure.
So, but he is such, such a different level. Like, so much of what he does can't be mimicked. I would mimic his mannerisms a little bit, maybe.
You got the club twirl down yet?
No, still don't have that down. Most guys have that patented, and it's a struggle for me. I don't understand it.
I can't do it either.
I think I kind of aspired, given my size and whatnot, kind of aspired to a Zach Johnson type of guy. Just kind of always had to dig it out of the dirt and keep it in front of me and beat guys by being smarter often and hitting it straighter than them. And so those were probably the two guys that I that I would say that I kind of looked at.
We're talking to PGA Tour member Philip Knowles. Does that sound pretty good so far to hear that?
Doesn't sound bad. Doesn't
Yeah, it doesn't
suck.
sound bad, does it? Does
That's
it?
for sure.
This ain't no
You-
hobby.
You started the year with a conditional status. Take us through mindset. I mean, all the interviews that, when we interviewed you and then the interviews that are just on the World Wide Web, you used a word chaos once or twice. That kind of maybe felt like your whole year was chaos because you didn't know where you were going to be. And take us through that mindset when you first started the year of conditional status and to now.
I got my card in 2019, conditional. I played really well up to the
Corn Ferry.
last 9 holes, Corn Ferry.
Yeah.
I had conditional status. Over those 2 years, I played. That was that ended up rolling in the COVID year. So, over those 2 years, I played 16 to 18 Mondays. Didn't get through a single one. Ended up going back to the Canadian Tour and then kind of the same thing. I went back to the final stage. One bad day, I get conditional status again, and I say that to preface, conditional Corn Ferry is the most miserable place to be in professional golf. Conditional PGA Tour, you're pretty much guaranteed starts, at least 8 to 10 of them, probably somewhere. And Corn Ferry, as a conditional member, if you're not, if you don't have good conditional, really good conditional, you're not going to get in maybe anything. Then you go to the Monday qualifiers and everyone is there. There's no pre-queue for Monday qualifier for Corn Ferry. So everyone and their mother, every single one is full, 100 and something guys playing for 4 spots. Whereas PGA Tour qualifiers, you'll hit some Mondays in the middle of summer that are 70 guys for 4 spots. And so conditional life is so tough. And I didn't really know when I was going to get a start. I knew I was probably going to get a start or 2 in the middle of summer, but that's, you're okay. I've got to get in. I've got a top 5 and I've got to, really roll that into some good starts, from there. So I was fortunate. I got a sponsor exemption in my hometown, Sarasota, for the 3rd time, not the first, the 3rd. Missed the cut the first 2 times. Finally got there, finished 25th ish, and that was huge. That was that finished there that early in the season. That got me into the reshuffle, starting the 9th event. I Mondayed into Lake Charles, got through my first Monday qualifier in Lake Charles, and finished about 4th from last, the guys who made the cut. So that didn't do a whole lot more for me, but got in, and then I missed my first 4 cuts.
Yep.
And we have another reshuffle. And so as a conditional guy, you've got to play well. You get in, you got to play well. And once you play really well, then you can kind of take a breath, take a little breather. And I got in, I played well, but I needed to keep playing well. Barely reshuffled after that 4th missed cut. And then I settled, things really kind of settled in for me. I think I top 25 there, made the cut in Chicago, top 25 in Raleigh, had a chance to win in Greenville a few weeks later, and ended up finishing like 12th. That was a big week. That was the week that was kind of like, okay, like I can compete, I can win out here for sure. It just kind of felt like it was a matter of time. Maybe not necessarily this year, but it felt like I knew I could play. I knew good things were coming. I missed to cut my next start, and then I made every cut from there until Columbus, week after Boise.
Yeah.
And so that was just just really, really good, steady kind of every week. It kind of felt like we were leveling up a little bit. And so go to Omaha after, a couple of good weeks, and I'm 86, I think, right? So 76 to 85 on the points list go to final stage.
Yeah.
So you're guaranteed conditional status for the next year with a chance to play for starts at final stage. And the top 75 are exempt and go to finals. So if I miss the cut, I'm at 86. If I miss the cut, I don't even go to final stage. I'm teeing it back up at second stage. And so that, those realities existed, but I had been playing so well that I really wasn't, it felt like I was going to keep my card. It felt like I was going to move inside the top 75 that week from the start of the week. And everything in my game was trending in that direction and saying good things, showing me good things. And so after the first day in Omaha, solo lead, it felt like I was ready for that. Like this was time. And final group that week, a lot of experience, played okay, tough kind of start early on, and really battled throughout the rest of the day. And if I get off to a little better start, I think I've got a great chance to win in Omaha. And so once I get my card, I finished 10th there, lock up my regular season card for next year, and got on the flight that was headed to Boise, not the one that was headed home. And I was living pretty carefree at that point. I was honestly just excited to have a Corn Ferry card. But my caddy and I were talking and get to Boise. We play 18-hole practice round, maybe 9 holes on Monday, and we played 18 on Tuesday.
Had you ever seen the course?
Never seen the course.
Okay.
I made, I think, 9 birdies in that practice round on Tuesday.
Okay.
And the golf course just fit my eye really well. Game was really, really good. And Wednesday Pro-Am, got to relax a little bit, and then it was just, you couldn't have hardly written the script any better from that point on.
Yeah. What kept you going throughout the year?
In
those moments of that,
I mean,
4 straight cuts.
Yeah, mostly like sheer competitiveness. Like, hey, I've had conditional for 2 years, and in those 2 years, you can you feel as though you can go out there and you can compete, but you don't know until you do it. And so I got the sponsor exemption. I finished 25th. I'm like, okay, we're here. We can do this. And then you go miss 4 cuts, and you start saying to yourself, well, am I really, like, is this where I'm supposed to be? And so you've got to continue to go out and prove that. Golf is the ultimate meritocracy, right? Everything you get, everything you're known for from a golf perspective, you earn through good play. And so I wanted to prove to, my peers out there, prove to myself, prove to my family that I could play out there. Like I deserve to play out there. And so that and just the sheer competition. Like I hate getting beat by my friends, and I'm out there playing with all my buddies, and all of them are making cuts and playing good golf, and I'm getting my ass kicked, and I don't like it.
Sure.
And so that some good competition was.
Were you?
How do you take going through all that last year? How do you take that to the tour this year? So are you kind of back where you need to prove to yourself that you can do what you did last year, but now on the PGA Tour, or do you just kind of, you're good enough now?
I know I'm good enough, and I think I've proven all that I need to prove to myself. And I've always maintained and believed that I was a better fit for the PGA Tour than I was for the Corn Ferry Tour. Honestly, the biggest doubts in my mind were, could I ever get to the Corn Ferry Tour?
That's interesting. Why is that?
it's a different style of golf. You get to the PGA Tour, you get a lot of cuts that are between even par and 4 under. Golf courses are more penal, so narrower fairways, firmer greens, short sides are worse. Ball striking becomes a little bit more of a premium, and the ability to get hot with the putter is necessary for anyone who's a good golfer. Anyone who has a PGA Tour card or a Korn Ferry card, they can get hot with the putter at some point. And so, ball striking being a premium, the Korn Ferry, you play a lot of golf courses that are a little quirky. They are wide open. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. There's not a real premium on accuracy. Conditions are a little bit softer, so it oftentimes just becomes a putting contest.
Got to go deep on Thursday, Friday, basically.
Yeah, like everyone's going to hit driver and play, then everyone's going to hit something up on the green, and so who's going to hold the most putts?
Sure.
And beyond that, like Korn Ferry, you've got 25 events, 24 events. PGA Tour, you could play, you could play 35 events if you're a top guy and you don't get into all the events and whatnot. And I just believe that you give me more starts, it only increases my chances of having a couple of really good weeks. And I feel confident that in 20 to 30 events on the PGA Tour, like you give me that amount of starts on golf courses that I feel like fit me really well. I like my odds of having a couple of good weeks.
Were you competitive as a kid?
Super competitive. Yeah.
With your 2 brothers and 3 sisters? Did you guys beat each other's brains in?
Yeah. I mean, my older brother was around, he was in high school when I'm 4 or 5 years old. He's, playing a little high school golf and so I, kind of mimicked him a little bit. My sisters were all, very musical. We didn't really compete much in sports necessarily, but like we had a foosball table, we had a ping pong table, we played cards, we all played cards, and
all the competitive games for the kids.
And like we would compete, play board games, whatever. Dutch Blitz or I forget, Speed maybe is the card game.
Oh yeah.
But it's like it's a very quick moving game, and tension can get really high.
Sure.
And so like I was constantly competing and loved it. My dad was competitive, was a good golfer, good at pretty much anything he did athletically. And so I was kind of always in his shadow and watching him and trying to mimic him and beat him.
You remember the first time you did beat him?
No, it happened so early on that kidding.
When did you know?
He was a good scratch golfer. I probably wasn't until middle school that I beat him.
When did you know you were good? Like, did you have that aha moment to yourself and say, "Ooh, I'm really good at golf"?
I think the summer between my junior and senior year of high school, I won our Florida State match play event. I beat a bunch of college kids on the way, to 6 matches, beat a bunch of college kids to get there and win. And I played really, really well all week. And that was kind of like that was a big step for me. I was biggest event I'd won to that point. And then fast forward 1 summer later, and I'm an incoming freshman at UNF, and I finished second at our state open. Play like third to last, fourth to last group. The last day I shoot 66 and end up losing, by 1 or 2 maybe. As a kid who's just graduated high school,
right?
And that was a pretty defining moment for me. Like, play good on Sunday when you're close to the final group, on a big golf course with guys. A lot of them are aspiring mini tour guys or club professionals, but they're still good sticks, and you get a lot of good amateurs in there too.
Sure.
And so that was a big moment. And then gradually I gained more and more belief through college.
Do you play better with the goatee or without?
It has to be with. I mean, I haven't. I was a pretty terrible golfer early in college, relatively speaking.
I mean, you were.
And,
You have a lot of. You're pretty decorated here, Philip.
Well,
I mean, I'm looking at your stats. I'll ring them off if you want me to, but go ahead.
There was a really good progression in college from freshman year to senior year, and I think I look back at my junior year, and there was just, freshman year, and there was just so much I didn't know, so much I didn't think about on the golf course, and the evolution of becoming a good golfer who shoots about 71, and shoots a 68 every now and then, and every now and then shoots an 80, to being a golfer who shoots 68 every now and then, shoots 63, and his bad days of 74. That's a huge transformation. And that's kind of what I felt like I went to from my freshman to my senior year.
What were the big things that shifted? Was it better putting, just managing blow up holes better?
Yeah, I think I all of it. There were some technical issues in my swing that I needed to clean up, and I got with a good coach here in Jacksonville. There were some technical issues in my putting that I got with a good putting coach here. So like those two guys were instrumental in that process. And then both my college coaches just helped me to be aware and to think how to evaluate golf shots, how to play in competition, how to, think through, different scenarios on the golf course while they were, coaching me in competition, off competition, just conversations in the van ride home. And so much of that is just maturing in those ways. PGA Tour golf or professional golf in general is a lot more. It is a lot of strategy. It is a lot of a chess match. Yeah. And sometimes it's just guns a-blazing. No one's going to beat me today, no matter what. But a lot of it is a chess match of how smart can I be and hit the shot that I need to hit that gives me the best opportunity to hit the next shot as well as I can hit that one.
We talk about it all the time on this show. Process versus results.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And gosh, you were busy in high school. You lettered in golf, baseball, and soccer.
Yeah. I mean,
you didn't have a time off. I did.
Go. I did. I didn't have a time off from sports in general, but I had time off from golf. I had time off from baseball. I had time off from soccer.
Yeah.
It was just when I had that time off, I was doing something else. It was just the way I was. I loved to compete, and I loved the anticipation and excitement of the end of fall rolling into soccer season.
Yeah.
And then in soccer season rolling into baseball season, and then in baseball season rolling into golf. Again, was like I was always looking forward to kind of honing that craft that season. And then by the end of the season, I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the next,
What position did you play in baseball?
Third base and pitcher.
Nice.
Yeah.
Were you watching the Cardinals game last night?
Yeah, you see Pujols?
Was not. Did he hit his 400?
Oh, 7.
He had 699 and 7 last night.
Oh, I mean 700. I'm sorry. Heck yeah. Both of them.
Both.
Yeah. Really cool.
So what came first, the goatee or the joggers?
Goatee.
Is the joggers just the natural progression?
Natural progression. I don't even want to know what's next, honestly.
No, you got to keep them, Phil. You got to keep them.
I think tight sleeveless shirts.
Them, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say joggers. I'm keeping the joggers. I just don't know what is the next progression from there.
Shout out to Primo, right?
Sleeveless.
You want to give them a shout out?
Primo?
Yeah.
Those boys are doing some work down there out in Salt Lake. They're great company, small, young guys, or a couple brothers and a cousin, and they put out a really good golf product. Joggers are not necessarily golfers apparel, or seen as golfers apparel, and they've tailored a jogger that it is for a golfer, and pocket sizes, material, fit, so good.
Well, you get on
can't-
TV
can't
more
speak
this
for them.
year. They certainly will be, and I have a feeling that's going to happen. So,
Yeah, they're great. Highly recommend. Primo, look them up.
all right, I love this story. Talk about how you met your wife, Olivia.
Yeah. My sophomore, maybe my freshman year of high school. I think my freshman year of high school. I played on this team in 8th grade. That was my first year. Freshman year, show up to the golf course, first practice of the year, and there's this blonde girl hitting balls with us. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't really, I don't have a women's team. So what is she doing here? And she's hitting balls on the left side of the range. I go over to the right side of the range. I'm just gonna do my own thing. And we go off and 3 or 4 groups, and she's playing with us and get to know her a little bit. She's just a really good athlete. She was in competitive cheer and gymnastics, and then moved from gymnastics to kind of competitive cheer. And sorry, I got guys blowing leaves out of the hallway.
You're good, man. You're good.
Competitive cheer, and she was too competitive to cheer for high school, but she wanted to play some sport. And her dad, good golfer, she learned golf at a young age. So she came out. Okay, so that's cool. A couple practices in, we're playing together in the same group. Get to about the 4th hole, I hit a driver out there, and she hit the driver out there, playing the same tees, mind you. And 2 balls in the fairway. I walked to the farther one, look down.
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Turn around, walk back to the shorter one.
Ooh.
And
And you got down on one knee right there, right?
Does she she better remind you of that to this day? I hope she does.
Unfortunately, she does.
Good for her. Good job, Olivia. If you're
down. And so we were friends. She was way out of my league, way too cool for me in high school. A couple years older than me as well. So she graduated, and a couple years later we just reconnected, and
All right. Were you more nervous about qualifying for your high school team or asking her out on a date?
Asking her on a date, and that's not even like, you can't even compare those two things, because I didn't even think about having to qualify for my high school team. We were small and whatnot. Her, there were a lot of thoughts in my head.
You had to worry about qualifying.
Yeah, what she would say when I asked her.
Was there a Monday cue for that date?
No Monday cue for that date. Did y'all see the stat today of the Monday qualifier? Made 1 bogey all week.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, the guy at Q School made 1 bogey all week. Didn't get his card. Didn't get.
Oh, that's brutal.
Wow.
We had one of our friends of the show, Grayson Huff. He played in Alabama. He's an Auburn kid, and he got it. He played on PGA Tour Latino, and he missed it by 1 stroke. And yeah.
I know Grayson very well.
Yeah.
His parents were based out of Sarasota for a number of years.
Okay.
And so my parents knew his parents, and
very cool.
We've roomed together on the road a good bit.
I love it. Excellent. Yeah. All right. So you're going to be a dad soon.
Yeah.
How's that? Obviously you're going to, what are you more nervous for, being a dad or winning your first PGA Tour event?
You guys sure are concerned about me and what I get nervous for. I mean, this is like at least the 3rd question.
We're just trying to find if you ever get nervous.
Yeah. This is
I'm very nervous to be a dad. I'm sure I'll be nervous to win a PGA Tour event. But again, I hone my craft for that. I spent a lot of time practicing. And so at some level I feel like I'll be ready for that.
Have you practiced changing diapers yet?
Yeah. Well, I have gotten some good practice. I've got a lot of nieces, nephews, a lot of little cousins that I would babysit when I was in high school a bit. So I have changed a number of diapers. I'm not going to say that I'm proficient at it, but I can hold my own. I can hold my own. And there's no way I can just prepare to have a kid and be a dad. So there's a lot that's going to happen there.
I'll tell you, that's the best part about it, though, is just diving head on in.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's better to not know what you're doing and just experience it, so you'll be fine.
I'm excited. I'm so stoked.
How far along?
28 or 9 weeks, maybe. I think
Okay.
she's due early January.
Dude, all right. So she's due before San Diego. San Diego's typically end of January.
She is due the weekend before the Tournament Champions, like right around New Year's, January 1st, 2nd. So
Nice.
it would be like a week before Sony.
Did you guys already find out what you're having, or are you gonna wait?
Little girl.
Awesome.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah. Excited.
Baby Knowles.
Yeah.
What's the best advice you've ever received from a fellow golf pro?
I think it came in early college years, very formative. Paul Azinger's from Sarasota, Bradenton area, and my dad played a lot of high school golf with him, and I was practicing with him a little bit and trying to glean all I can, and he told me that to be successful in golf, period, you've got to do 3 things really well. You got to drive it well, you got to wedge it well, and you've got to be able to get hot with the putter. Doesn't mean it doesn't mean you have to be the best putter in the world, which I think is can be a misconception. But drive it well, wedge it well, be able to get hot with the putter.
Yeah,
and that really shaped what the next that really shaped what my golf practice and game has looked like since that since that was, I think, freshman year. So I have gotten to where I'm a very, very good with the driver, straight, not as much in length, and I'm very good with my wedges. And so I think that was just it was what I needed to hear at the right time. You know.
One of my favorite Paul Azinger quotes is good players need reminders, not lessons.
Yeah.
It's so simple, and it's true.
Yeah. My swing coach, we every lesson, schedule lesson and whatnot, and he'll say, okay, what do you want to get done today? And I said, I don't know. I just need your eyes,
Yeah.
And we work on the same 3 things basically always. And it's nothing revolutionary. But it's, I just constantly need to watch this, reminding me of those things that are my tendencies.
Yeah. Let's do some quick hitters here for you. What's your favorite sport to watch? Do you watch golf when you're not playing? Football guy, basketball?
Yeah, I do watch a little bit. Out on basketball. I'm terrible at basketball. I can't stand watching sports that I'm not good at.
Like it. You are competitive.
I think probably my favorite got to be really close. College football or Atlanta Braves baseball. Very close.
Favorite club in the bag?
Driver.
Least favorite club in the bag?
Oh. Full iron.
That's good that it took you a little bit to think, because if you immediately went to something, we would have, something to talk about.
It's just a weird gap. It's a weird number for me.
When's the last time you paid for a round of golf?
It's a good question. I'll play we have a local muni here. We play some like Thursday money games that's organized by the golf course. Fun time and we pay. It's like $20 to walk and then $20 for the game. And so I for sure have paid there within one of those off weeks, probably in the middle of summer.
How many strokes do you have to give him?
A lot.
A lot.
Unfortunately, we play Stableford, so I've got to make so many birdies to pull enough points.
Yeah.
Front pin or back pin?
Depends on where I'm coming from. Front pin. We'll go front pin.
Okay. Dog leg left or right?
Right. That's easy. Well, yeah. There's two answers to this. If there are trees, dogleg right. If there's no trees, dogleg left.
Nice. Would you rather play in the wind or the rain?
Wind.
I hate the wind. Can't
I
do it.
love the wind.
All right. Let's say 20 years from now, we're all watching the Masters. Who's the honorary 3 that tees off?
Tiger. Yeah, find someone in that 20 years. I mean, I don't. That's a weird. I think if you said like, yeah,
Well, make it 30. I mean, just anybody that, from the past 10,
Tiger.
15 years that would not be competing.
Yeah, Tiger, Rory.
Is Tiger going to be walking at that age, though? That's the
I was
thing.
gonna say, I almost said it. If Tiger, if he can get out of a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Rory and I don't know who else. Oh, well, he never won. I was gonna say like a Furyk or something, but he never won at Augusta. Who won at Augusta?
Yeah, I'm hoping Phil gets back into good graces, and maybe that's.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Phil. I would love for it should be Phil. I mean, it should be Phil.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll say Phil.
Finish this sentence. Without golf, I would be.
I would probably be in finance of some sort.
I was gonna say insurance sales was the answer we're looking for.
No, I hate insurance companies. I hate them. I don't want to work for them either.
Right. So you are king for a day on the tour, and you get to change one rule for golf. What would you change?
I think I would eliminate par.
Ooh. What do you mean by that? Because par is relative. I kind of see what you're going at, but elaborate.
No par threes, par fours, par fives. You teed up on the first hole. You got 18 greens. You go and 18 tee boxes, and you play from, and then you just count them up at the end.
Interesting. So it's just lowest score wins, no matter what.
Nothing changes, right? But I think we attribute so much significance to par, and I think it'd be fun to play without the
the target of you have to get a 4.
correct, like, thought at all. Like if par just didn't exist, what would scores be lower? Scores be higher? I don't know. I think you would just focus on the test that's ahead of you.
Sure.
But how would I tell all my friends when I get a quadruple bogey?
You just say you made a 9.
You just made a 9
or an 8.
No, on a par 3
or a 7.
That's interesting. That's too, because we had Taylor Montgomery on last week, and he gave a very similar answer to that. I can't remember what it was, and then now you've given us a different rule.
He wanted he didn't like the rule where you couldn't use a backup club if it wasn't in your locker or some weird rule that. Yeah, usually we get the hitting out of a divot in a fairway. But we've had some deep thoughts the past couple of
That's
weeks.
a little rub of the green.
Do golfers know about their, because I've seen a lot of golfers just really struggle with like on how to do drops or, I know you guys are all trying to, do the right thing. And then if it's a sticky situation, but a lot of the times I see a lot of golfers like bring a rules official in on like a hazard drop. And like,
Yeah.
it seems like they don't know. I don't get it. Do golfers know their rules or do they just, I don't know. Are you a rules guy? Do you care about the rules or do you count on the officials?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of nuance to the rules. I don't understand why someone would call in a rules official for a red hazard line.
Yeah.
If it's a yellow line and then you're determining, whether there's a drop zone or maybe not a drop zone or where your last point of entry or you gotta, that can get a little bit more nuanced. And then when you're playing, competition with grandstands and, a hard card and local rules where like you got weird rules about sprinklers within 2 club lengths of the green and you within 2 club lengths of the sprinkler and grandstand TIO relief and, like those are those nuanced things. The rules officials encourage us to ask, like probably more than we should.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Sure.
they openly say like, please ask. They're always close by. And, for a lot of guys, especially, when you see them on TV, they're playing well late in the tournament, whatever, like the risk for just potentially doing something wrong is massive.
Sure.
Sure.
And so
I always go back to what was that DJ a long time ago in the U.S. Open when hit that crazy errant tee shot and it was in a trampled area and he like didn't know he grounded himself in this little 1 foot. Apparently,
you're
it's a
talking
bunker.
PGA.
Yeah.
Western Street. Yeah, it was.
I mean,
That was tough.
and who would have ever thought that was a hazard?
Yeah,
So
All right. So you're playing Sanderson next week, right, Phil?
I am.
Okay. So do you have, I watched a video before you came on about you would feel a little bit more comfortable if you kind of knew what a card meant, right? Because you guys have, so do you you're in Sanderson, do you have to play well to get into the next one? Do you have like a number of starts before, Torrey comes?
I think so. Once things shook out at the end of the year, at the end of the finals, we all get put in the same category. 50 guys, one category.
Okay.
And so where you are in that category is significant, and you stagger it based on, so you get like number 1 from the regular season. So Justin Sully's at the top of our category. Actually, he's not even in our category. You get Carl Yuan, number 1. He's number 2 regular season, so he goes to the top. Then you stagger first from the finals, number 3 from the regular season, number 2 from finals. And so I finished like 4th, I think, on the finals list, which puts me at 9th.
Okay.
Priority list. Well, there's 50 guys. And so, if you're 50th, it's gonna be a lot tougher to get in all these events. And there's gonna be a lot more uncertainty. And so I think that was where I was coming from when I said that. Certainly there was just so much that I don't know. Like, how are things gonna shake out? Are we, and since then we've been educated a lot. Rookie orientation last week in Napa was helpful. We learned a lot of things there. So I'm in a really good spot in our category, and we don't reshuffle until after the fall. So no matter how good or bad I play, I'll stay right there this entire fall. So I'll get into Sanderson. I'll get in Vegas. I will be off for CJ and Zozo. We'll get in Bermuda and Mexico and Houston and RSM. So I'll get 7 starts this fall, which is massive for a rookie. So got a lot of good things coming up.
That's great. He's Philip Knowles, PGA Tour member. Philip Knowles. I know that feels really good. He's going to be a dad soon.
Heck yeah.
He's got lots of diaper changing practice already, ready to go. Before we do let you go, Phil, and we really appreciate your time. And
Don't forget, he's also 5'8".
He's 5'8". Well, his
But
wife
hey,
would call it 5'9".
Of
You might
course.
be. You
Well,
probably
by the
might
time
be
you put the golf
5'9" with
shoes
those golf
on,
shoes on. Yeah, I was just gonna say
yeah,
those spikes give you at least a half an
I
inch.
mean, we're close to 6 foot, so let's
yeah,
just
we
leave.
just round it. That's what we all
We
do.
always round up. I always want to know, how has golf changed your life, Phil?
Well, it has provided me with an opportunity to provide financially for my family. Not just me and my wife anymore. It's or it's soon to be not just me and my wife and my dog anymore. It's gonna be a little baby coming up soon, and that's incredible to be able to do and play this game and get paid to do it. Given you play well and do it well, then get paid to do it is an incredible opportunity and is really humbling. Golf is also a sport that comes with significant ups and downs, no matter how good you are. And that teaches you a lot about yourself and how you react to adversity and life in general. And how can you cope with, poor performance on the golf course and yet still a good performance, back at home in the household. And there's a lot of those nuances about life that golf, the good and the bad, has taught me a lot about myself, and will continue to teach me until the day I die.
Rough Fairways is produced by Eddie Dunn and Mike Sells. Moments after he lost the playoff in Boise in August, he was autographing with kids, smiling, saying hello to the fans. Just not a moment of regret or remorse for losing it. Says a lot about the guy. Philip, you're the man. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much for coming on. Listeners, thank you. For Mike, I'm Eddie. We are Rough Fairways. And remember, be kind to each other.